just a slight modification to this little bank back here. I showed on another video how I put this in. I had your typical 12 volt outlet here, some USBs, and of course this is all powered off the feed, which is on a 30 amp fuse going to the inverter. And of course once you put the switch on, the inverter gives you the 115. At the same time it gives me these 12 volts. I want to go ahead and talk about this item here. So I'll get to the bench and give you a better detail of that. Okay, so here we are on the bench, and we're going to talk about this little guy here. It was $7.99 for one. It comes with the actual 12 volt receptacle and of course the little cigarette lighter here. I don't smoke, I never have, although I've always gotten a kick out of these things. Ignition, if you ever need to make a fire or something like that. Now some people will think you can just go ahead and buy this and shove it into one of these, which is your 12 volt, usually the receptacle that comes with the vehicle, or it's up front. It's just plastic and it's got the two conductors. The side's the negative, the center down there is the positive. However, it's all plastic. If you shove it in there, first of all, it's not going to lock in place and it gets to a certain temperature and it pops out. But if you do force it in there, it's basically going to melt and it could give you a fire back here. The ones that you buy, as you can see down in there, it's a piece of ceramic. Okay, it's all well insulated and stuff, and this is designed to, you push this down and once it gets heated up to the certain temperature, it pops out and you've got a nice red hot source to start a campfire or whatever you need it for, a little on the spot welding or something like that if you're stuck out in the woods or just out in the boonies where you need some sort of heat source. It's kind of simple. It's all basically unscrews. Put this through the hole. This goes on to the back. It tightens it up between whatever material you need, and that's why it gives you this little sleeve, which is kind of nice. The only problem is, look at the size difference of that. So I went ahead and I used this. I had a piece of heat shrink I put here, and then once it was down inside the hole, I just happened to have a whole kit of these things. I think this was a Harbor Freight Tools, buy a million of them for $1 type thing, but I opened it up and actually slid them right down in here and locked it in place, and that actually took the place of the larger hole. I also put a little O-ring around there to center it. So this is just a spare now for that little panel I put in the back. But basically, if you want this for an extra heat source, which is really cool, I keep this in a little compartment up front if I ever need it. Meanwhile, in the back I have this one here I just showed you in the truck. It's good for just 12 volts, and of course it's good for if you just want to use the cigarette lighter for a heat source or something like that. So these are about $7.99 for one on Amazon, and I'll try to give you guys a picture of the item. Or believe it or not, you can get two for $8.99. Well, duh, that was a no-brainer there to go ahead and get two for $1 more. So now I actually have a spare left over if I ever need it. So again, if you're thinking about getting something like this for camping and whatever to help start fires if you run out of matches, or if you have a lighter that dies on you, or you forgot to bring your striking stone, do not think you can just shove one down in here, because again, you'll melt it and there's a possibility of a fire. So it can be done modified. You just take your time when you get these. This is kind of easy. The outside, this would be the negative, and of course this powers the internal portion there, which is the positive. So it's really easy to hook up. And most of the time the wire spades that are on here, the little female ends that basically push on, will fit this no problem. I didn't have any problem with mine at all. So just a neat little thing if you wanted to add it, and at the same time a caution about just trying to get one of these and maybe, you know, force it down into this hole and hold it down there until it gets nice and hot, because you will melt that. A little bit different, like I said, in here. And yeah, that's right, don't laugh, that's a pocket fisherman from the 70s. It's brand new, actually. I got lucky on Etsy. I kind of throw that in the back along with some tackle and stuff like that. You just never know. If you're going to get stuck someplace or whatever, if you need an emergency source of food, you happen to be near water, these little things work great. I had one a long time ago. I was able to find one on Etsy, still in the box, brand new old stock, and I'm just changing out the string now. That's why it's sitting on the bench, but that's going to go in the back of the truck and just sit there if I ever need it. If I never do, well, fine, but it's nice to know that it's back there. And yes, I do have licenses just in case. So in case, even if I'm just driving home and I thought, hey, that'd be kind of a cool thing to just kind of pull this little guy out and toss a couple lines. Well, again, it just folds up completely, fits in this little guy here. And again, it just folds into place, and then you slide it into the bag. It's really cool. You take the handle, take a little red knob off, and flip it around, and it's a regular fishing pole. So again, I bought one of these back in the 70s, loved it, and when I saw one on Etsy for you know, new old stock, and it wasn't cheap. It was about I think I paid $39.95 altogether, and that included shipping. Where if you look at the original paperwork, which is here, it was $22.95 way back then. Of course, they sell them now on Amazon. They're black and white, and you think, oh God, this is great, I'll just get a new one. Well, they're made in China. This one here was made in Illinois, so it's kind of a no-brainer there. Anyway, just some stuff to throw in the back of the FJ for the just-in-case times. That's about it. I'll go ahead and get this on YouTube, let you guys have a look. I know it's been a while since my last posting. I kind of run out of things to put on there. And anyway, so we'll get this on the YouTube and let you guys have a look. Thanks for watching.